Hi there, it's Angus Clark. Welcome back to the program. Today I'm doing an Angus Talks About Gear video, and I took some footage that I shot at the end of the 2019 Trans-Siberian Orchestra tour. My wonderful tech Takumi shot me just talking about the gear that we use, what you'd call a rig rundown, I guess. So I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions about the gear, leave them here in the comments section. As always, please subscribe, like the video, and so on. Let's check it out. Welcome to the bunker. It's a very happy little space. You can see I have a chair here where I sit between songs, and right here's the rack. Let me just talk you through. This really hasn't changed since the last time I did one of these. The only thing that's changed is the wireless. So we're using this Shure AD4Q. It actually has a bad channel on it, so we're only using channels 1, 3, and 4. Takumi has my guitars lined up so that they make sense for the guitar switches. From here it goes to this RJM unit, and the RJM unit can pull up any one of the 4 channels from the wireless and then send it anywhere. So this is the white V, and I'm sending it to AXFX 1. There's AXFX 1, AXFX 2, which is the backup. And the only things that we're doing this year that are a little different is that I'm doing a thing using volume pedal swells, and I'm using an analog volume pedal. So for that section of the show, we actually use AXFX 2 as the main. It goes to a volume pedal, which is kind of accessible by Takumi just through this curtain here. And I just use the analog volume pedal for the swells, and then we're back on AXFX 1 for the rest of the show, unless something goes wrong. And you can send it anywhere, AXFX 1, AXFX 2 to the tuner, and that's it, using the AXFX pedal in scene mode as always. So that's really it in terms of what we're using. I can talk about the presets in another video. And let's look at the guitars. So first off, what strings I'm using. I am a D'Addario guy, and I believe we're getting by with just these 3 sets. For Gibson scale guitars in standard and E flat, I'm using 11 to 49. For Fender scale guitars, I think all of the Fender scale guitars are in drop tuning. They're in D, and I think that's 11 to 52. Except for Tele, which has an extra heavy load. We're not using the 10 to 52s at all, are we? But traditionally, that's what I used on a Strat, so we just have a bunch left over. So I used D'Addario strings on everything. So let's look at the guitars. I'm going to start over here with my number 1. Now we've got a Gibson Flying V. This is like a 2013 gloss model, white Flying V, basically a 67 reissue. All the Vs in this show, except where noted, have a set of Duncan distortions in them, covered so that I never catch the high E string over the corner of the bobbin, which is a massive problem. This guitar has Tone Pro's hardware, and it has had the nut replaced with a bone nut, and the electronics are lovingly cared for by my tech. And so that's that one. That's the number 1. It's on most of the show. It's white, so it catches a lot of light, and that's an important thing for the TSO show. Let's move on right here. This is the one custom shop instrument in the show. This is a white 61 reissue from the Gibson Custom Shop. I was playing Red SG at rehearsal, and Paul O'Neill came in and said, "I like the SG on you." And I said, "It probably look better if it was white." So the production went and got this white guitar. Over the years, it's had a little bit of work. These are custom wound from the custom shop. It's like the 3rd pair that I got from them to put in this guitar, and they nailed it. I don't know what they are. So this would be the one secret sauce thing in this entire video. Had the nut replaced and was plecked by Brower in San Francisco. This is an amazing guitar. It sounds great. It's currently in E flat, and we use it on the song Believe, an old Sabotage song that we're lucky enough to do within the show, and it's always a pleasure to play it. So there you go. I love the 61 SG. My red one is great too. All right, moving on. This one I've had for a while. It was in the last time I talked through my gear. It's a 2005. Again, just the whatever they were calling it that year, but it's essentially a 67 reissue. It had Duncan distortions in it, but then this guitar is particularly bright. So Takumi had this Motor City pickups, custom wound, I think an Alnico 5 probably. We're not sure. When we put it in, we really like it. It doesn't have as much harsh high end as the Duncan distortion had in this particular guitar. And I put this mirrored pickguard and cover plate on it this year so that it could catch lasers. But all the lasers shoot from behind me, so I'm not having that much luck with that particular idea. But it's nice to have a couple guitars in a subtler color palette because when they take pictures, sometimes they really like to have not so much high contrast with the white guitars. So my chances of getting into the tour program improve if I have something with a softer palette. So that's what part of the reason why this guitar is coming out. And it just sounds great. It's our favorite. I think it's our favorite. It's still our favorite. But coming in as a close second for our favorite this year is, boom, the Brent Hinds, the Epiphone Brent Hinds. Again, this is a guitar I bought, where did I buy this? I bought this at Sam Ash. I bought the red V at Sam Ash. I bought the white V at Dave's Guitar Shop in La Crosse, Wisconsin. This has Duncan distortions in it. That's pretty much the only thing I changed since we got it. And for this year, it's tuned down a half step. In watching how the East Coast band are playing the set, we had to modulate a couple songs for singers, and specifically Good King Joy, which on the album is in E, came up to F, and then finally we came up to F sharp. And at that point I said, well, why don't I tune the guitar down a half step and I'll play it like it's in G, if that makes sense. But it's fun because I have open chords to play, and it just feels like I'm playing the song in G. Because F sharp's not that great. F sharp major, not a really fun key to play. So there you go, the Brent Hinds Epiphone signature model. Love having an Epiphone in the show. Making great guitars. Kudos to them. Alright. Then, maybe this is Takumi's favorite. I have a soft spot for it. This is the Jackson Adrian Smith, and it is always in tune, even though the bridge is floating slightly. And keep in mind, this is truly old school. I'm floating on a non-recessed Floyd, which takes a certain amount of fiddling when you're first setting it up. But this is a D standard with 1152s on it, and it's original Floyd. It's got a couple upgraded parts. I always put the titanium inserts in, and this guitar just nails it. It's got the DiMarzio distortion in it that it came with, DiMarzio True Velvets instead of the Fender noiseless. And I just swapped out the pickguard so that I could have two tone knobs. This tone knob is a no load, but I seem to always roll it down a little bit because I like that. Alright, and backing that guitar up, I'm sorry, I'm tossing these elastics on the floor. Backing that guitar up is the True Metal Tele. This is a Fender Deluxe Telecaster. I'm not sure what year that I bought through Fender, and it's got a Seymour Duncan little 59 in it, and we've got it in D standard, and then for Handful of Rain I'm dropping the bottom string down to a low C. So it starts out with 11 to 52s, and then this bottom one is probably a 54. Yes. So I don't know if you ordered single 54s or, yes, we ordered some single 54s. And this is a great guitar. I love it. I get a lot of use out of it. I have a case for it. I don't mind checking it on planes. It goes everywhere. And pretty much all of those were in the 2017 gear talk. This one is new since then. This is was bought used on Reverb, and it is a special for Sam Ash from Gibson Guitars of Distinction
Silverburst Classic. So most of the Silverbursts that you see are customs or pre-high end. This is a classic. It being a classic, it is very heavy. And but I just wanted something that had that softer color palette that wasn't just black, so it wouldn't disappear against the tuxedo. And the Silverburst was like really the good fit for that. And just has the 57 and the 57 Plus in it, and those are great pickups. I have those in my other Les Paul. I have them in my Red SG. They're just great pickups. There's no reason to mess with them. This does have Tone Pros, bridge and tailpiece, and we upgraded the Godos to these high ratio. But it's really doing a great job, particularly this year, because I think I had to replace the bridge. Yeah, I did replace the bridge. So anyway, that's that one. You can see it's getting a lot of buckle love, and just like all my guitars. And the one thing I forgot to mention is that this guitar, over the summer, I replaced the bridge because one of the screws was bent. I replaced the bridge with a Callahan piece, and it's really awesome. If they're, it's rare that I get really excited about a bridge, but I'd have to say that this is an amazingly well-made piece. So thanks for coming inside the bunker with me. Now we're going to head up on the stage and look at what pedals there are on the stage. As I mentioned, the main pedal is down there. All the presets changes are done by Takumi. It's amazing at it. We're in scene mode. As I said, I'm using an analog volume pedal for volume swells. I'm using the Boss, the big one. I swear by these. This is the one I've used ever since I was in the Guitaro band ages ago. And I'm actually sitting here during Old City Bar using this pedal. And then when I'm done, I check my tuning. That's the only time I use this tuner. I haven't had another occasion to do it. And as I said, that's a special select AXFX 2, which this is plugged into in order to do that, and then it's not in line throughout the rest of the show. So that's the only use that gets. And then up here, Mad Russians. There's one segment of Mad Russians where on the record there's a volume, a fader push that on a fully distorted guitar. So this is the expression pedal hooked into the main AXFX, and it's defeated throughout the entire show except for only one song where I use it. I just do that, and then I'm done. And none of the other presets happen.
And there you have it. Nice shot of the arena there at the end to give some context to the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Most of that gear is available used on Reverb, so check it out. And I hope to see you here. Please like the video and hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you find out whenever I post something. All right, take care. We'll see you next time.